Good day. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today I'll be doing chapter 7 time series for those who are doing STTN111 and STTN122. Let me just mention the modules so that you guys can know. So that because I will send the video on YouTube. All right, now. Okay, time series is for those who are doing STTN111, and then also STTN122, STA1502, and 1503 time series and forecast. But for those who are doing STTN122, you guys are not doing the forecast and so on. All right, I think now we can start. Can just use this so that you guys can see. Okay. All right. So today we are doing chapter 7, the time series. We are doing chapter 7, the time series. So just take this one and put it here. All right. So we are doing chapter 7. Or you can just say unit 7, chapter 7, and then we are doing time. We're doing time series. Time series. All right. I hope now you can all see. Hope you can all see this chapter 7 time series. All right. Now with time series, I'm going to do this. Just use a different color. Just use a different color. So with time series, you must be able to know the definition. You must be able to know what? The definition of time series. Definition. So when we are talking about time series, we just do this. When you're talking about the time series, we are talking about what? When you're talking about time series, we are talking about, you can talk about a set of observation. It's a set of observations. It's a set of observations recorded. You can just say it's a set of observations recorded, set of observations, then recorded. Okay, let me just make a mistake here. Recorded over a what? Over a period of time. So over a period of time. So you remember, every time you cannot do it, maybe a certain chapter, then you don't understand the basics or you don't understand the definition. So that's why here I started with now, because we are dealing with time series, you need to know the definition of that. When we are talking about time series, we are talking about a set of observations recorded over a period, over a period of time, over a period of time. So that is time series. So yeah, so this is the definition of the time series. So you must be able to know that here, when we're talking about the time series, we're talking about a set of observations recorded over a period of time. So this is the definition of the time series. All right, now I'm going to explain it so that you guys can know what I'm talking about. All right, now with the time series, I will focus more on the calculations. But before that, I'm going to give you guys what we call the moving components. So meaning that now we have, I will say 4 types. I will say we have 4 types of moving components. Let me just do this. All right, 4 types of moving components. Okay, 4 types of moving components. 4 types of moving components. And this is components. 4 types of moving components. All right, let me just do this so that you can all see what I'm talking about. 4 types of moving components. Number one, we have what? I do this. 1, we have what we call the long-term movement component. We have what we call the long-term. I think I can just use a different color for this one. Number one, we have the long-term movement component. Movement component. Component. Just gonna do this. The long-term movement component. So that's number one. We have 4 types of movement component. Remember time series? As I read the definition, time series, we're talking about what? A set of observations recorded over a period of time. Recorded over a period of time. All right, now we have 4 types of movement components. One, we have long-term movement component. And then when you're talking about long-term movement component, when you're talking about that one, I can say we are talking about, just to show you an example. Just to show you an example, let me just draw something with regards to the examples. One example of long-term movement component. Let me just show you something here. We can talk about human population, like a growth of human population. We can talk about that. One example somewhere here, an example. Okay, just do this. All right, just gonna do this. All right, just gonna do this. So now, long-term movement component, for example, for e.g., we can talk about the growth for what? For human population. We can talk about that. We can talk about growth for human population. For human population. We can also talk about that one. Let me just do this. So to make sure that we're on the same page. All right. All right. That is long-term movement component, for example. Now let's move to the second one. So the second one, we have the cyclic component. Just gonna do this. The second one, we have cyclic component. So I can use this one here. The second one, we have what we call the cyclic component. Now with the cyclic component, remember I said the long-term movement component, we are talking about what? We can talk about the long-term trend. Obviously, like the long-term trend, like for example, we can talk about the growth for human population. So let's look at this. Let's look at the cyclic component. So I'm going to use different languages so that you guys can also understand what I'm trying to say or try to explain. So now with the cyclic component, we are talking about, we can talk, you see the word cyclic, the word cyclic, we can talk about the business. So now for this one, for example, we can talk about the business cycle, with this one. So you see now the cyclic component, you can talk about the business cycle, for example. The long-term component, you can talk about the growth for human population. So that's number 2. Let's go to number 3. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, we can talk about the seasonal. You can like here by the word seasonal component. Well, for the seasonal component, this one you can see that you can talk about seasonal weather, the holidays, like the holidays for goal. And then another thing, we can talk about a lot of things as long as it has the word seasonal component. So for this one, for example, you can talk about the seasonal weather, or we can talk about school holiday. School holiday. We can also talk about this one. That's number 3. Let's go to number 4 now. Number four. Just use a different color. For the last one, we can talk about what? Now we know that we have long-term movement component, cyclic component, and then have seasonal component. The last one, we have irregular variation. We have irregular variation component. So this is number 4, irregular variation here. So when I'm done explaining this chapter, the time series, I'm going to do a few questions so that you guys can see how to attempt the questions from this chapter from time series. Okay. Now irregular variation, for the examples, we can look at what? We can talk about the word irregular variation. It's something that it's, I can say, unpredictable. Yes, unpredictable. And also it has to do with the random variation. For example, we can talk about like something else on human events, natural disasters with this one here. So meaning if they can give a scenario, if a scenario, and then when you look at your scenario, then you see that, okay, this thing or a graph, and then you see that, no, this thing, it talks about the natural disasters. So obviously, if they say which type of movement component is this one, or looking at your scenario, you'll say this is irregular variation because of looking at your graph and something like that. So this one I can say, can talk about, for example, we can talk about natural disaster. Natural disaster. Can also talk about what? Like, it has to do with natural disaster, human events, okay, and human events. Human events. Human events. We can talk about this one here. All right, so I'm done explaining the 4 types of movement component. I'm done explaining that one. So I think now let's check time series, a set of observations recorded over a period of time, 4 types, long-term, cyclic, seasonal, irregular variation. All right, now let's move. And then again, we have this formula, which is, it's for what we call, can just do this. We have this formula, it's for additive model, meaning we have the 2 types of time series model. Just do it like this. Time, let me just say 2 types of time series model. We have the 2 types. The 2 types of time series model. You can just use this. And then I will start with number 1. And then number 1 here, we have number 1, additive model. Additive model. And we have the formula for additive model, which it says y, which is equal to L plus what? L plus C. I'm going to explain what L, C, and this stands for this one. And then plus I. So L stands for long term, C stands for cyclic, S stands for seasonal, I stands for irregularity. You see, so if they give you a question, they give you long-term value, cyclic value, seasonal, and irregular, and then they say to you that calculate the additive model. Just going to substitute by using this formula, this one here. All right, let's go to number 2. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, we have multiplicative model, which y is equal to what? Obviously, it's because it's multiplicative, it means you have to multiply. We're still going to use the same formula, but this time we have to multiply. So multiply by, this is not multiply by, okay, just do it. Yes, multiply by C, and then multiply by S, and then multiply by I. So this is our formula. Two types of time series model. Two types of time series model, and then we're done with that. Okay, now let's move now to, let's do this. Let's now move to the long-term movement, the least squares. The least squares. The long-term movement, I'm going to say the least squares. I'm gonna use this one. The least squares, the least squares. Okay. And once you know this one, trust me, you never go wrong. So now let's look at this. It's very important. It's very important. So I'm going to write a formula here so that you can all see the formula that we are going to use. I'm going to write a formula. That formula is for the what? It's for the least squares. I'm going to write a formula. It says y hat is equal to a and then plus bx, something like this, plus bx. So I'm just gonna put something here. It's something like this. So now when you are dealing with the time series, they will always give you, I don't know if I can say they will always, but when you're dealing with the time series, you will always like be given sometimes, let me just say sometimes, the number of years, and then they give you the y values. You need to find what you call the transformed x values so that you can use those values to find A, to find B. So for you to find the least square equation, this is our least square equation. Okay, but for that one, before that, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to try to, because this thing is based on this squares. Okay, let me just do it like this so that you can all see what I'm talking about. So now we have what we call the number of periods. How do you calculate the number of periods when dealing with odds, when dealing with odd or even? Okay, let's start. Just gonna do this. Now, when dealing with odd, this is how you find the number of period. When dealing with odd, this is how you find the number of period. You say what? Xi, just say Xi is equal to the ith period, the ith period, and then minus the middle period. I'm going to explain this one. I'm just going to give you one example so that you can see what I'm talking about. The middle period. So this is how you calculate, or this is how you, when dealing with odd here, we are talking about the number of periods now. This one, you use this formula. All right, now let's check something here. And then now when dealing with, just gonna do this. Okay, when dealing with even, the number of periods for even, dealing with even, the number of periods for even, what you do, which formula I want to use? Xi, which is equal to what? Because now we're dealing with even, what we're going to do is say 2, and then into 2 into what? 2 into the ith period, minus the middle period. It's something like this. This is when you deal with what? This is when you deal with even, something like this. Okay, let's look at one example of how to calculate the transformed x values and how to calculate the least square equation. Very interesting. I'm going to do one question here. Just gonna do one question. Let's say, for instance, we are given this question. Let's say, for example, we are given the year. Let's do this. We are given the year and then we're given, okay, we're given the year, and then let's say, for example, we're given which formula can I use? Like any example, I just want to use one example. And then let's say, for example, we're given, let's see what, gross domestic product. Let me just say, then maybe GDP. Yes, GDP. Say GDP. Okay, just gonna do this. And then under the year, let's say now we have 2001. And then I'm gonna go this side. Under GDP, we have, let's say we have, let's say 15. Let me just say 16. And then we have 2002. And then this side we have 10. And then we have 2003. And then we have, let's see, in this case, we have maybe 30. And then 2004. And then we have, just want to show you something. And then we have, let's say we have 40. Okay, let's use this one. Let's use this example. So I'm going to try to do a table here so that you can all see. Okay, this is my table, not drawn to scale. Okay, this is my table. This is my table. Okay. This is my table. I'm also gonna like this so that you can all see this. Okay. All right. Just do it. Yeah, it's like this. This is my table. I have the year and then the GDP. Now, and then now I'm given a question. Then they say to me, find the least square equation. Find the least square or find the least square regression line equation. And then now I think, now I check. It's either I have to use this formula or I have to use this one. Let's check now. Let's check. Now I need to check. So I have 2001. I need to find the middle period. I have 2004. And then now let me just do it like this so that I don't want to confuse you. I just want to do something so that you can also what I want to do here. Just to show you. I will start with the first one when I given the odd. And then after the one for odd, just do this. We have 2005. Go this side. And then let's say now we are given, let's say now we're given 10. So we still have 10. Okay, let's say now we're given 13. 13. Okay. This is 2, then 2, 2. All right, I want to show you something. I'm going to do 2 examples so that you can see. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do 2 examples. I'm going to finish this one. Okay. Better let me just use the. I think it's better if I can just use a different color. Okay, just gonna do this. This is my table. And this is my table. Just gonna do this. This is my table. This is my table, not drawn to scale. All right, let's just do it like this. Let's say now they say find the least square. We know that it's y, which is equal to what? It's y, which is equal to a plus bx. A, and then plus, and then b, and then x. X. So this is our equation. Let's say now you need to find this. But before you find this, you need to find the transformed x values. Meaning you need to find the transformed x values. I'm going to say the value of x here. The transformed x values. Let me just write it here so that you can all see. Just gonna say transformed x values, transformed x values. Just gonna do this so that you can all see. We need to find the transformed x value, and once we get the transformed x values, it's gonna be easy for us to find the equation. It's gonna be easy for us to find the equation. It's gonna do it like this. Just gonna okay, just gonna put something like this, and then go this side. Yeah, something like this. Right, let's find the transformed values. But before that, we need to find the middle period. We start 2001, 2005, and then 2002, 2004. Now, meaning my middle period here is 2003. This is my middle period. And then I'm gonna write it down here, and then I'm gonna say my middle period is equal to 2003. This is my middle period. Now, I can see now, since I have the middle period here, which is 2003, I can see now that I'm dealing with the number of periods when it's odd. Meaning, for me to find the transformed x values, I'm going to say the ith period minus the middle period. So let's check. Now, the ith period in this case is going to be 2001, 2003, and so on. So let's start with x1. I mean, yes, let's start. So xi here, and then is equal to what? Is equal to the ith period, 2001, 2001, and then minus the middle period, 2003, and then the answer that you get, you can just verify on the calculator, or you can just, but by looking at this one, no need, you can also use a calculator, or it's fine. So this one, 2001 minus 2003, I got -2, meaning the first transformed x values here is -2. So don't forget that this one of GDP, this is the y value. This is the y value. And don't make this the value of x, the y, I mean the year. Don't make this one the value of x. And then we are done with this one. We are done with this one here. And then let's move. And then the x, I can just say 2, or I is equal to, now we're done with 2001, move to 2002 as our ith period. So 2002 minus the middle period, which is 2003 here, 2003. You see 2003. So now you're gonna say 2002 minus 2003, you get -1. So you see here it's what? -1 here. And then we are done with this one here. We are done with this one here. It's number 2. And then we go to number 3. You can just say x3 or xi. Maybe just x3. Now the ith period here is what? 2003. Don't forget that. The first one, it was 2001. The ith period, 2002, 2003, and so on. But don't forget, this is our middle period. It's very important. Once you get this, then you're good to go. Middle period, and then I will say, let's check 2003. So it's gonna be 2003 minus 2003, and 2003 minus 2003 is what? 0. So it gives me 0 here, and then we get 0 here, and then I'm done. I go to 2004, and then I'm done with this one. That's number 3. That's number 3, and then this is x, and then number 4 is equal to the ith period. It's what? 2004. So 2004, and then minus 2003. So 2004 minus 2000, obviously I'll get 1 here, 1 here, and I'm gonna write it here, and then this is 1. This is here. All right, and then I'm done with this one. Let's do the last one. Let's do the last one. So the x here is 5. Okay, you can just say 5 or xi. And then this is 2005, and then minus minus the middle period, which is shorter than 3. And then this one, it will give me what? It's like 5 minus 3. Then you get 2. Let's see, we get 2 for that one. And then now we have what? This is number 5. This is number 4. And then this is 2. All right, now I have transformed x values and I have the value of y. It's going to be easy for me to find the value of a and b using a calculator. I'm going to explain the method, how to find the value of a, and also how to find the value of b. All right, let's do it on a calculator. Let's do it on a calculator. Okay, so this is the value of x, this is y. On your calculator, first step, I'm going to write it somewhere. Just do this. First step, on your calculator, first step, what do? You go to mode setup. You go to mode setup, first step, you press mode setup, you will see 5 options, but you focus on second step, second step, and then you go to option 2, which is state. Option 2, which is state. And then third step, and then third step, you go to what? You press, remember you press that option 2, which is state. And then you'll see 8 options, but your focus is on option 2. On option 2, which is a plus bx. A plus bx. A plus bx. And then just press that option 2. You'll see a table. That table, it will be like something like this. Just to show you. That the table will be something like x here, and then y here. It's a table like this, and then something like this. That you will see on your Casio or on your calculator. And then now you can enter x values and then y values. Let's enter our x values. We start with -2. After enter -2, I press equal sign so that it moves to the next step. And then -1, 0, 1, 2. Then I'm done entering, and then I move to the y variable, and then I'm going to enter my y values here for the GDP. 16, and then 16, 16, 10, and then 10, 30, and 30, 40, and then 40, 13, 13, 13. And then when I'm done entering what my values, I'm going to do this. The fourth step here, the fourth step is to do what? The fourth step, I press AC. You press AC, you will see 0. You will see 0 on your calculator. You'll see 0. The fifth step, the fifth step, you press Shift and option 1, meaning you press Shift and option 1. Shift and option 1, the fifth step. When you press Shift and option 1, and the sixth step, what do you do? Now you go to option 5. You press option 5. You press option 5, which is that option 5. It's REG, something like this. And then you press, which is regression. Press that one, and then after pressing that one, you will see 5 options. Now we go to option. We want the value of a there. It's there. The value of a is there. The value of a, it's there. Just do this. I'll put them here. The value of a is equal to, then you just, which is on option 1. Just press that option, you press equal sign. So for the value of a, I got 21.8. Let's find the value of b. Again, you say Shift, you press option 1. You go to that option 5 again, which is REG regression. You go to option B. Option 2, which is B. And then you press equal sign. I got 2.4. as my value of B. Then I got 2.4. 2.4. Now I can now write my equation. Y hat, which is equal to 21.8, and then plus 2.4x. This is my equation now. It's gonna test. This is my equation. This is my equation. Now they can tell you that now find the GDP for, let's say, find the GDP for 2006 when the origin is 2003. The origin they are talking about the middle period, which was 2003, and then they say find the GDP for 2006. So what you're going to do if they give you such question, you just say 2000 and if they say 2006 minus 2003. We're just gonna do this. Just gonna say 2006 minus 2003, and then for the value of x is equal to 3. The value of x is equal to 3 in this case. All right, is equal to 3. All right, this is the value of x. Then what you do, you just say y hat, which is equal to what? 21.8. 21.8 plus, and then 2.4, and then 2.4. Where you see x, you put that 3, and then you get your answer for this one. You get your answer. All right, I hope now you guys understand. Now let's focus on the moving averages. Let's focus on the moving averages. Now with the moving averages, we have what we call the 3-year moving average. Called 3-year moving average. The 3-year moving average. The 3-year moving average. I'm going to show you how to find the 3-year moving average. The 3-year moving average. Now, if they say calculate the 3-year moving average for the year that corresponds, for the year that correspond with what? That correspond with, let's check here. Let's say, for example, they say calculate the 3-year moving average for the year with 2004. Let's say, for instance, they say 3-year moving average that correspond with 2004. You have to make sure that this is your middle period for 2004. You have to make sure that this is the middle period here for 2004. So it means what we are going to add 30 plus 40 plus 13. If they say 2004, this is your middle here. Then you're going to start here 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to add 30 plus 40 plus 13. So I'm going to say, okay, 30, and then plus 40, plus 40, plus 40. Because they said the 3-year moving average, I divide by 3. If they say the 5, I divide by 5. Plus, I think it plus by 13. Yes, by 13. And then by 13. And then obviously I divide by what? I divide by 3. And then I get my answer. I get my answer for 3-year moving average. 3-year moving average. I get my answer for that. So I hope you all understand. So if they say calculate the 3-year moving average that correspond to the year, maybe 2002 here, 2002 here. So we are going to add 16 plus 10 plus 30. This is, you have to make sure this is your middle period here. So meaning 1, 2, and 3. If they say, okay, I hope you understand the 1, 4, 3 moving average. Now rekaya go ya 5-year moving average. Let's check the 5-year moving average. 5-year moving averages. Average. 5-year moving average. So for the 5-year moving average, also you have to divide by 5. You have to divide by 5. So let's say, for example, they say find the the 5-year moving average that corresponds to the year. Let's look at this. To the year maybe 2003 again. Yes, 2003. The 5-year moving average. You have to make sure that the one that they've mentioned here, it's your middle. So I mean I'm going to add this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to add 16, 10, 30, 16, 10, 30. It's gonna be 16. Okay, just gonna do it like this. 16, 10, 30. It's gonna say 16 plus 10, and then plus 30, and then plus, let's check again. 16, 10, 30, 40, 13. 40, 40 plus 13. And then now I divide by 5. If they say 5-year moving average, and then I divide by 5. You can just do it like this. I divide by 5. So it's gonna be something like this. All right, 5. And then you get the answer. You get the answer for that. Again, let me show you something very important. It's about like when dealing with the number of periods for even. If they can give you, let's say, for example, they say this is maybe 2003, and then this is 2004, 2004, and then this is 2005, and then this is 2006, 2006, and then this is 2007. If they can give you something like this, 2007, and then they give you they give you maybe the GDP or something, and then this is here, this is here, this is here. They give you something like this. So when you find the middle period, you have to check. Oh, I have this one, I have this one, I have this one, I have this one. Let's take out the middle period. Or let me just edit again so that I can show you. Let me add 2008, 2008. So can you see here, our middle period will be, this is 2, this is 2, and this is 2. Okay, this one now. So our middle period will be this one here. So we see this one. So what you're going to do, you're going to say 2005, 2000, you need to find the middle period, 2005 plus 2006, 2006 here. And then you divide them by 2. It means that our middle period is between 2005 and 2006. And then you add them 2005. You just say 2005 plus 2006 and divide by 2. And then I got for this. And then I got 2005 and then 0.5. And then now, let's say now you want to find the transformed x values. You want to say, because you're dealing with even, with 2 into the ith period. The ith period, you're going to start with 2003, the first one there. Which is, you're going to say 2003 minus the middle period. And what's our middle period? Is this one here. Minus 2005 and then point and then 5 here. And then you get your x value. Just do it like that. Just do it like that. And then you get your transformed x values for that. All right. Okay. All right. So that was the end of our time series. So if you know how to find the transformed x values using the zero-sum method, you're good to go. You know the steps here. How to find the least square equation, how to deal with this one, 3-year moving average, 5-year moving average. Then you're good to go. All right, let's look at one question paper. At least one question. Just want to show you this. Just gonna do a few questions. Okay, let's look at this one. Semester test 3 2018. I don't know if either maybe it's for those who are doing 1501 or 1502 or STTN111, but the content is the same. Just that on the other side, some they are doing forecast and actual values and so on. All right, let's look at this question here. Let's look at this. You see, this is time series by looking at this graph. They say, we see which one here. They say, okay, just do this. Now they say what? Which one of the following options describe the time series best in the graph? Which one? Which one? We talked about 4 types of movement component. We talked about that one, 4 types of movement component. So this one, remember, please check my the recording that I'm gonna send, where I was explaining the cyclic movement, seasonal, long-term, irregular variation for that. Okay, let's check here. So now they say use the following information to answer question 13. The graph below represents the pattern of Euro stocks, okay, 50 volatility over the period of time. So volatility for, okay, you can check from 2016. Now this is our time period, 2017. So obviously this thing here, the long-term trend is there according to the explanation, even this question. The long-term trend is there, cyclical movement is there, and the irregular variation is there by just looking at this trend, this graph here. So meaning that here, our answer now will be option, let's check on option 4. Because this thing, it cannot be based on the business. It cannot be based on the business by looking at this, you see, by the pattern, by this pattern. Okay, let's look at question 14. I mean, they say use the following information to answer question 14 and to 18. The consultation income in thousand for a quantitative analysis company per month are as follows: December, January, February, March. Okay, very simple, interesting. Let me show you something. December, January, February, March. I'm just gonna do a table so that you can all see. So it's something December, January, February, March. So okay, so you see, I can just say something like this. So December, and then January, and then we have February, and then we have March. Okay, let's say March like this. And then we can, the best way is to do it like this as a table. And then let's go and look at our values there. Let's go and look at our values. Let's check. Let's check the question. 7.0, 6.87, 7.0, 6.87. So 7.0 and then 6.87. And let's check again. 7.54, 7.25. Okay, 7.54, 7.54, and then 7.25. So this is our table. To make it easy, let's do it like this. And then, all right, this is our table. This one is always the value of y. We need to find the value of x. We need to find the value of x. Let's go and check our question. Okay. Now, what the 3 months moving average for the month of January is, for the month of January, we have to make sure that January is our middle period. Let me just say middle period so that you can all understand this one for January. So meaning you're going to add 7.0, 7.0, and then plus 6.87, 6.87, and then plus, and then 7.5, and then 4. And then we divide them by 3. And then the answer that you'll get, let's do it. It's 7.0 plus 6.87 plus 7.54. And then I got 7,1367. 7,1367. And I have to multiply it by 1,000 because they said in thousand. In thousand here. And then I multiply it by 1,000. And then the answer that I got is 7,136.67, which is option 2. That is our answer for question 14. That is our answer for question 14, option 2. All right, I hope you all understand. Now, they say suppose that the 3-month moving average for the month March is 8,000. The 3 moving average for March. 3 moving average, we just say moving average for March is, they say what? Let's go and check the question again. They say it's 8,000. 8,000 is 8,000. Okay, let's check now. Now they say what? They say it's 8,000. We have to make sure that March for this one is the middle. What is the consultation income for April? Let's check. So here we have December, January, February, March. We don't have April. So meaning in this case, I'm going to add April here. I'm going to add April here. So do I have the value of y for April? I need to find it by using this method because I'm given the moving average for March, which is 8,000. So I'm going to say the moving average for March, what I'm given, which is 8,000, is equal to what? I have to make sure that March is the middle. So I'm going to start with February. So by saying 7.4, to make it easy, let's multiply them by 1,000. 7.4 multiplied by 1,000, and then I got 7,540. 7,540, and then plus, let's add the one for March. So 7.25 multiplied by 1,000, it's 7,250. 7,250. And then plus, I need to find the one for April. I need to find the one for April here. April, and then I divide them by 3. By 3. Let's check. Just waiting for this thing. By 3. It's gonna do this. Okay. Okay. By 3. Okay, it's fine now. Now, when I reach to this part, multiply this, cross multiply. So 8,000 multiplied by 3. 8,000 multiplied by 3, and then I got 24,000. So 24,000, 24, and then 1,000. And then which is equal to, I have to add this 2. So 7,540 plus 7,250. And then I got 1, and then 4, and then 790. Don't forget, plus April. I need to find the one for April. Plus April. Okay, plus April. Plus April. So now I need to find the value of y for April. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to say for April, which is equal to what? I'm going to say 24,000 minus 14,790. The answer I got 9210. 9 and then 210. This is my answer. Let's go and check our options there. This is our answer, 9210. Okay, then we're done. Now they say question 16, using the zero-sum method, the transformed x values is, let's calculate the transformed x values. Very interesting question. Calculate the transformed x values. Let's find the transformed x values. Just gonna do this so that you can see what I'm gonna do now. So December, we just take it as 1. And then this one, 2. And then this one, 3. And then this one, 4. October, the April is excluded because let's look at this question again. You see, the zero sum. Let's look at this. You see, we're not going to include April in this case. So when I erase this one, because for April, I was just showing you how to find the value of y for it. So let's find the transformed x values. Very interesting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's find the middle period. Our middle period is between 2 and 3. You see, so we have to find the middle period by saying 2 and then plus 3 divided by 2. So it's 5 divided by 2 and it's 2.5. That's our middle period. It means now we are dealing with even. For us to find the first x value, we're going to say our x is equal to what? 2 into the ith period is what? 1 minus 2.5. And then which is equal to 2 into 1 minus 2.5. And then it's -3. -3. And then the second one, 2 into 2 minus 2.5. And then you'll get, I think you'll get -2. And -1, so it's -1. -1. And then this one, 2 into 3, and then minus 2.5. And then you'll get, just put 3 there. And then we get 1. And then 2 into 4 minus, so we get 4, and then minus 2.5. 2.5, and then the answer that I got was what? If I put 4 there, and then I will get 3. So my transform x value is -3, -1, 1, 3. -3, -1, 1, 3. Let's check. -3, -1, 1, 3. So the correct answer here is option 4. Yeah. So done with this. Done with this. Done with this. And also this one. All right. Let's look at the last one here. Let's look at this one. Question 17. Using the zero-sum transformation, what month corresponds to the x value, which is equal to 15 for the database? Okay, is equal to 15. Is equal to 15, where x value is equal to 15. So this is what I do. Because we know that we have the formula xi is equal to 2 into, we know this is the ith period, and then minus the middle period. We all know this formula. Okay, middle period, and then like this. And then here in this case, the value of x is equal to 15. Just going to substitute. I say 2 into, what is the ith period? I don't know it. I don't know the ith period. What is my middle period? I got 2.5. 2.5. And then I do this. So therefore 15 is equal to 2 multiplied by the ith period. I get 2 ith period. Okay, something like this. Minus, and then 2 multiplied by 2.5, I get 5. I get 5. And then now I say 15 minus 5. 15 minus 5. And then I will get 10. I get 10. And then 10, which is equal to, and then 2, and then the ith period here. And then I need to get the ith period. And then I divide them by 2. By 2, and then by 2. Now the ith here is equal to what? Is equal to 5. But I'm not done. Not done. This is 5. And then I need to find, they say what? Let's go and check the question again. They say that correspond, what month that corresponds to x value 15. Yes. Now I'm going back and check the question. Now this is 5. So I'm going to say, remember, I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, now my answer is equal to 5 plus that 4, the ith period plus that 4. And then when you count them, it's 9. It's 9. Now, very interesting, 9. Now we count. January, it's 1. February, 2. March, 3. April, 4. May, 5. June, 6. July, 7. And then July, August, 8. September, 9. So meaning that the answer is September. Here. September. This is our answer. Meaning the answer is September here. And then this is our answer. Let's go and check. So the answer here is option 4. Here, option 4. Done with this one. You see that question that when I started explaining this, I started with this one. The least square equation is, let's find the least square equation. It's gonna be easy. Why? Because we have the transformed x values here. We have the x values, we have x, we have y. So it's gonna be easy for us to find the value of A and to find the value of B. All right, you can also do that and find the value of A and B. Let me know if you guys have questions. Remember, statistics is enjoyable and engaging. So meaning the only way to study this module by practice. Practice makes perfect. Don't forget. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can see more videos that I'm going to upload based on this module. Even though it's different modules, but don't forget to subscribe.